Be ready. Start. It is a settled legal proposition that a stranger cannot be permitted to meddle in any proceeding unless he satisfies the authority stroke court that he falls within the category of aggrieved persons. Only a person who has suffered or suffers from legal injury can challenge the act stroke action stroke order etc. in a court of law. A writ petition under Article 226 of the Constitution is maintainable either for the purpose of enforcing a statutory or legal right or when there is a complaint by the appellant that there has been a breach of statutory duty on the part of the authorities. Therefore, there must be a judicially enforceable right available for enforcement on the basis of which writ jurisdiction is resorted to. The court can, of course, enforce the performance of a statutory duty by a public body using its writ jurisdiction at the behest of a person, provided that such person satisfies the court that he has a legal right to insist on such performance. The existence of such right is a condition precedent for invoking the writ jurisdiction of the courts. It is implicit in the exercise of such extraordinary jurisdiction that the relief prayed for must be one to enforce a legal right. In fact, the existence of such right is the foundation of the exercise of the said jurisdiction by the court. The legal right that can be enforced must ordinarily be the right of the appellant himself, who complains of infraction of such right and approaches the court for relief as regards the same. A legal right means an entitlement arising out of legal rules. Thus, it may be defined as an advantage or a benefit conferred upon a person by the rule of law. The expression person aggrieved does not include a person who suffers from a psychological or an imaginary inquiry. A person aggrieved must therefore necessarily be one whose right or interest has been adversely affected or jeopardized. The expression aggrieved person denotes an elastic and an elusive concept. It cannot be confined within the bounds of a rigid, exact, and comprehensive definition. Its scope and meaning depends on diverse, variable factors such as the content and intent of the statute of which contravention is alleged, the specific circumstances of the case, the nature and extent of complainant's interest, and the nature and the extent of the prejudice or injury suffered by the complainant. This court, even as regards the filing of a habeas corpus petition, has explained that the expression next friend means a person who is not a total stranger. Such a petition cannot be filed by one who is a complete stranger to the person who is in alleged illegal custody. This court has consistently cautioned the courts against entertaining public interest litigation filed by unscrupulous persons. As such meddlers do not hesitate to abuse the process of the court. The right of effective access to justice, which has emerged with the new social rights regime, must be used to serve basic human rights which purport to guarantee legal rights, and therefore a workable remedy within the framework of the judicial system must be provided. Whenever any public interest is invoked, the court must examine the case to ensure that there is, in fact, genuine public interest involved. The court must maintain strict vigilance to ensure that there is no abuse of the process of court and that ordinarily meddlesome bystanders are not granted a visa. Many societal pollutants create new problems of non redressed grievances, and the court should make an earnest endeavor to take up those cases where the subjective purpose of the list justifies the need for it. Even as regards the filing of a public interest litigation, this court has consistently held that such a course of action is not permissible so far as service matters are concerned. There is no dispute regarding the legal proposition that the rights under Article 226 of the Constitution of India can be enforced only by an aggrieved person, except in the case where the writ played for is for habeas corpus or quo warranto. Another exception in the general rule is the filing of a writ petition in public interest. The existence of the legal right of the petitioner, which is alleged to have been violated, is the foundation for invoking the jurisdiction of the High Court under the aforesaid article. The orthodox rule of interpretation regarding the locus standi of a person to reach the court has undergone a sea change with the development of constitutional law in our country, and the constitutional courts have been adopting a liberal approach in dealing with the cases or dislodging the claim of a litigant merely on hyper technical grounds. In other words, if the person is found to be not merely a stranger having no right whatsoever to any post or property, he cannot be non suited on the ground of his not having the locus standi. In view of the above, the law on the said point can be summarized to the effect that a person who raises a grievance must show how he has suffered legal injury. Thank you.